Feedback.
Yeah, I'm going to turn you off entirely.
Okay.
No, you can't do anything there.
Nope. Hurry up, Shane. Gotta go.
One person in the room that can shut you up.
That's a good one.
How's that?
How's this?
Better? No more squeal?
Right now?
No more squeal? That's good. Starting to get a little feedback though. All right.
I'm waiting to shut you up.
Test. 1, 2, 3. Shane, how we doing? Test, test, test. How we doing? Keep talking. Snow White and Mary had a little lamb. Fleece was black. Well, he needs it for the tape. Hmm? Hey, how's it sound now? Still squealing? Well, whatever. He just needs it for the tape. You guys can hear me. Move that down a little bit. Maybe that'll help too. Okay. Every year I give this in-service, and every year I try and talk about something weather-related. The past few years I've talked about tornadoes and tornado events, hail, lightning, different things like that. Well, I've talked about all those, so what am I going to talk about now? And talk about microphone usage. But anyway, I started thinking about, since global warming is so much in the news these days, I thought, well, how does that affect weather? So I did a little research. And to break it down, every scientist has his own opinion, so there's two ways to look at it. There's the severe weather and extreme weather. Now, severe weather, global warming affects extreme weather or severe weather by the fact that it brings in more heat and more moisture into the atmosphere, which is critical for a thunderstorm and severe storms to start. The only problem with that is global warming also levels out the temperatures from pole to pole, which then cuts down on wind shear, the amount of high velocity winds in the atmosphere, which is also another key component to severe weather. I mean, without wind shear, they don't build the big thunderheads, you don't get the lift for hail, you don't get the inverted wind direction to cause a tornado. So on one hand, global warming is helping feed thunderstorms, but on the other hand, it's starving it of wind so it can't develop a severe thunderstorm. So basically, it really has no effect on severe weather other than we may get a little more rain than normal. Extreme weather, on the other hand, can be affected by global warming. It'll affect the amount of moisture and instability in the atmosphere, and what it does for extreme weather is it causes all these freak patterns in weather out in California. They've been in drought for 5 years or whatever. Other places are getting floods, and that's what it causes. It can cause flooding, droughts. It just screws with the normal weather patterns of a lot of places. You hear the people saying, yeah, we're having this 100-year flood. Well, this is the second one in 10 years now that we've had this 100-year flood, and that's what global warming does to extreme weather. On average, from the statistics I read, the planet has gotten, the land and ocean temperatures have increased 1 degree since 1890. Now you hear all the global warming crap. Well, the polar caps are going to melt. California's going to be underwater. I don't know about that. It could be, but according to them, if it gets to 2 degrees hotter, it's taken over 120 years to raise 1 degree, but if it another degree, supposedly that's what'll happen. I don't know. They're the geniuses. They can figure it out. What it appears for our neck of the woods when it comes to severe weather and inclement weather is topography matters. And all the analysts say that where the Midwest is dependent on topography, big word. So what that means is as long as the Rocky Mountains don't move and the Gulf of Mexico doesn't move, our weather patterns are going to say same old, just like they have been. The only difference is we may get a little more rain at times or have a little bit more dry spell at times due to the shift in global temperatures. But just remember, everything I just told
Try it now, buddy.
Hey, I heard you. You're going to be on the tape.
He's a good roadie.
Aren't you lucky? Okay. In BB, as well as this building, we have weather alert radios. Several of our staff, I know I have one at home, Tracy has one, Jack, some of the management staff, they all have weather radios at home. As well as anybody knows that if there's anything going on, Channel 8, 13, when you're watching your favorite program, that's all they cover is weather, which is good, but it pisses me off if it doesn't come in our area. So, if a watch is issued for our area, and that by area I mean Poweshiek County as well as the surrounding counties around us, typically to the west, Mahaska, Jasper, Marshall, even to some extent Story. All we need to do in the health center in Beebe Hall is continue with your daily routine, turn on the TV in the TV room, the activity room, so you can monitor the Channel 8, Channel 13 weather. And as you're going around doing bed checks or your normal duties, close the drapes, close the blinds, pull them shut, and just make sure the weather radio is on and just continue with your daily routine. Now, if a warning is issued, immediately one of the following people has to be notified in this order. First one would be Jack Morrison, then myself, then Bob Mann, Ed Pausch, and Kelly somebody, I don't remember what her name is. Because if we need to evacuate, it's a management level decision due to the fact of all the time and trouble it takes to move everybody out of both buildings. So you get a hold of one of those people. I mean, Jack should answer the phone right away. He's probably already going to be here because we'll be monitoring the weather if we're having severe weather. Odds are I'll be here, Tracy will be here. And at that point, we see something coming from southwest looking like it's tracking towards Grinnell. We call for an evacuation. That'll be their decision to make. If they call for an evacuation, first thing we need to do is charge nurse or staff that is here needs to call Beebe Hall and let them know we are evacuating and to start evacuation of Beebe as well. Call the facility's on-call person if he's not already here, which, like I said, in years past, we've already been here. Page your staff, because it takes a lot of time and trouble to get everybody down in the lower level of both buildings. Move the residents down using both elevators if possible. Now, I say that if possible because if we're having a storm and the power is knocked out, we're running under generator power in this building as well as over at Beebe. The generator is not big enough to run two elevators at the same time. So at that point, if we are running under generator power, use the front elevator only. Do not use the back elevator, because if you try using both, it'll trip the breaker out on the generator and neither one of them will work. South Village residents, last I knew, is we're putting them in the PTOT room for better containment, easy to watch. We have fans in the resident temp storage downstairs. We have drop cords also down there, as well as a rack of chairs in the sports room. Because you get 50, 60 people down the lower level of this building, it gets stuffy and hot in a hurry.
Last time we had an evacuation, we had some residents that were cold. Is there a place that we can have a few blankets?
We could, if that's an issue. I know typically it gets so just muggy down there almost, but yeah, we can throw a place down there. I'm sure Tammy can find a home for something local in the lower level where we could have a blanket or two. But we need to get the fan set up and get some air moving down there. The only problem is if the power is out and we're under generator power, there are only two sources of power to plug into in the lower level of this building. One is under the time clock in the lounge, and one is in our server room across from the boiler room. That's the only two red outlets in the lower level. It'd be nice if there's more, but that's it. So what we have to do is string drop cords from there to there, hook some fans up, get those going. Get the rack of chairs out for those people that are ambulatory, bring them down there, get a seat for them to set in. Remain there until an all clear is called. One of the things too, when evacuating, the last thing to come down is charts, med carts. We get all the people down first. If we get hit and lose the charts, well, it's going to be hard to replace, but they're expendable where people aren't. So get the charts and the med carts down, everybody's buttoned up down in the lower level. You remain there until an all clear is called. And that all clear will be called from management staff. It'll be Jack, it'll be Ed, it'll be Bob, and they will come and say all clear. When an all clear is called, then it is safe to return everybody upstairs. When you're moving these people, it's like I tell in orientation. Fire drills, we do, any kind of drill we do, the one thing I tell everybody to do is stay calm. Because if we actually are in the severe weather, we got a tornado bearing down on us and we're going to be pushed, because the best I've ever seen an evacuation go was half an hour. This building, 30 minutes to get everybody down, and that's because everybody was in the dining room. It was a dining room hour. So they were all in one place, boom, shoved them down. Everybody was already up. But 45 minutes is the norm. So you stay calm, the people you're moving stay calm, because if you've got residents that are panicking because you're panicking, well, enough staff here has had to deal with an unruly resident, so imagine if you had 50 of them. So it'll just make your life a nightmare trying to get them to go down, because they'll be, oh, what's going on? Oh my God, you know. Stay calm, they'll stay calm, everybody will do their thing and we'll be in good shape. BB Hall evacuation goes to the J&B Bistro and Kiesel Theater. We're not going to Kiesel, just, will they all fit in J&B? Okay. Okay. Did they? Okay. Because I know we used to take them to Kiesel, but I know they mentioned J&B, but I wasn't sure if it was big enough. So same thing, take them down the elevator, that's generator power, so it'll continue to run in a power outage. Get them down there as quickly as possible. My staff will be here, because we always call everybody in that we can get hands on to help move people. And we will, in addition to you guys moving these two buildings, we will go around to the main campus buildings as well, alerting residents of all the campus buildings that there is something going on and they need to take shelter immediately. There again, wait for the all clear. Yeah.
Do the apartment residents go down in the basement if they want to?
If they want to. Like I said, it's independent living residents. We can go tell them, hey, got something coming this way. I suggest you get out of here. If they say, no, I'm going to sit here and watch it on TV, their choice. Case in point, God, it's probably been 5-6 years ago now. We had the ice storm in February, knocked power out for 2.5, 3 days. And we tried to get people out of their apartment with no power, no heat, no nothing. And we had a little old lady in Buckley that says, nope, I'm fine. She snuggled up in a coat and a blanket and for 2 days sat in her apartment with a lantern on, a little battery operated lantern. She did not want to leave. Okay, we made the offer. But just remember, all severe weather is not the same. Each one has its own little wrinkle, and we will just have to bend this to go accordingly. And remember, residents first, as well as yourself. So don't put yourself in harm's way or the residents, and we'll all live to work another 40-hour week. So, any questions? Yes, Pat?
We used to have a pretty widespread PA system.
Yes.
Had an alarm on it.
We used to.
That alerted residents.
Yeah, we used to.
We don't anymore.
We used to.
Is it just
The PA system we had was actually about a 1978 PA system, and probably, I'm guessing, about 8 to 10 years ago, it went. And we looked into replacing it. It's quite expensive due to rewiring and getting everything. I've brought it up in the past whether there'd be ever money in the budget to try and do that, but it's kind of not a real high priority item on our budget, but if we did have the money, I'm sure they would. But yeah, no, that system is no longer functional. So, but with the advent of all the nursing and housekeeping staff has communication, facilities has radios to communicate, and then of course we can always communicate back and forth by cell phone as well. So we got plenty of communication. So hopefully that won't be an issue. The one issue that was brought up a few years ago was about the patio homes, the Harwich Terrace residents, and it was suggested that we go around and warn them in the event of an oncoming severe weather. The only issue I have with that is we have 50 plus patio homes, and if you figured 5 minutes to go to each one, knock on the door, say, hey, blah, 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 I'm going to have a couple of my guys out in the open exposed for half an hour to 45 minutes. They might get caught right in the middle of something, and I'm not comfortable putting their lives in jeopardy to do that. I've always taken the attitude that it's independent living. It's just like in my house, nobody comes knocks on my door and says, hey, go to your basement. So,
They just phone them.
yeah, you could phone them if you had somebody available while you're evacuating to phone. But yeah, it's kind of a gray area. So, any other questions? Sorry, that only took 17 and a half minutes, but I could talk about something else. No, thank you.